So in this section of why 60% of accountants will struggle to adopt and adapt to AI, previously we talked about temperament. So in this part, we're talking about conditioning. So when we're talking about conditioning, we've got two parts. One is should we say, the older generation and the younger. So with the younger generation, we've literally got people that got a prize for coming eighth in a running race. A lot of their schooling, a lot of their environment has all been around. We don't want anybody to feel too bad, so we're going to try and do everything we can to manage or help them manage their emotional state. This is why you see videos with trigger warnings and all the rest on front. And so these people, by conditioning, have had the elements kind of softened for them. So they're not used to dealing with that. Their tenacity, their grit has not been tested. And then you have another generation, the older generation, and they're, through conditioning, they're almost like, well, this is the way we've always done it. Here's how I'm going to do it. And then that negative trait, I'm no good at that. I couldn't do that. So they've taken themselves out of the game. So a big part of the conditioning issue is that you're going to be dealing with people that, in terms of adapting to something radical, because remember what we're actually asking them to do in order to adapt is to say, right, the value that you're going to offer the firm going forward is your ability to engage and communicate with clients to help them around the decision sense and go forward. Sadly, many of the people that we're talking about, if they actually engaged with the clients, would be very good at it. They're often very astute. They're not in the role because they don't have skills. They do have the skills. The issue is that they will struggle to engage. So what you'll find, again, through conditioning is they're used to things like, oh, I've got a client that's got an issue. I'll send them an email. Got a problem with a friend, have an argument with them. I'll send them a text. So the conditioning is often, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm struggling with everything. Oh, well, then I'll just step back and take a break. And these are the people that, again, through the conditioning, you're going to look and say, well, for example, oh, I'm really struggling with my workload. Maybe, I need a mental health day or whatever. And it's, well, hang on. Have you thought of maybe coming in earlier to get some of that work completed? And it's oftentimes they basically get themselves into a muddle, if you like. They get bound up. And previously, in many cases, they haven't been held to account. So they haven't seen other people in their firm lose their job because they failed to engage. They've actually seen that if you kind of carry on the way you are, things will continue. There are some partners who have bought their way out of this position. So they're not good at engaging. They're not good at going and winning work, but they managed to buy themselves a partnership and they're in that, shall we say, that relationship maintenance aspect. But the adoption of AI is going to force people to engage differently with clients in order to remain relevant. And that's going to require some new actions. And that means they actually have to see the behavior and change the behavior. But they're looking around, and this again, we're part of the conditioning. They're not seeing it from those around them. They're not seeing, they've got nothing to mimic or mirror. So the conditioning is how they've gone through school, how, what they do in life, the way that they engage. And at the same time, they're not seeing any difference in the behaviors in the office. All of that will condition them to think, just stay as we are and everything will be okay. That's another reason why they'll struggle or fail to adapt.